Today's project, we're going to be tearing up this old brick walkway, installing a Warmly Yours snow melting system, and then repaving it. I'm Rob Robillard. Welcome to a Concord Carpenter. And today's show, we're going to be mixing it up a little bit. We're actually going to be looking at the people behind the story. It's all about compassion, volunteerism, and generosity. Let's get started. So this whole project started when Rob sent me an email through my website. I didn't put two and two together. I didn't recognize the email address. So he had asked questions about how the snow melting system worked in the recent project we had done. And so I answered them, and then he asked another question, a follow-up question. And then he hit me through Facebook, and it started to click at that point who Rob was. So when we started talking about it, he had asked about the system and how much it would cost to do and what's involved, and that led us to here today.
My father just turned 81 this past Halloween. We get the typical New England winters here, and he tries to get up early and shovel. Before my aides come in the morning, they're here at 7 o'clock every morning, and it's just a real hassle to get out there and try to shovel before they get here.
When I got off the phone with Rob, one of the last things he said to me that resonated was, "Oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. I'll talk to my dad. It might be a pretty pricey project." And it is. It's a pricey project to do something like this. So I got off the phone with Rob and I started thinking. I said, I just didn't feel right about it. Something, I could do something about this. So I picked up the phone and I called Julia Billings, who is the CEO at Warmly Yours Radiant Heat. I got about halfway through my spiel explaining my relationship with Rob and his situation and what we wanted to do, and she cut me off and she said, "I've heard enough. What do you need? We're in." So I was like, yes, Julia's in. So we got the product. I then called my mason, Steve Fanna from Lawn Barber, Inc.
So Rob contacted me about the Butts project over there in Hudson, and when he mentioned to me what it was for, like, I'm on board, and I'd love to join the team and put it together. It helps someone in our community, and it was especially at this time of year, right, we're at the holiday season. It really worked out well.
I got off the phone with Steve, I picked up the phone and I called our electrician, Basil Costa. And he's out of Winchester, and I said, "Basil, this is what we're doing. You've installed a bunch of these for me in the past. I need somebody to make the connections for me." He said, "No problem." So all of us got together, all different contractors, all very busy, all crazy schedules, and we made it work. Unfortunately, we waited till the coldest day of the year to install this, but it's going fine. So, part of this project meant that we had to tear up a perfectly good wheelchair ramp that was a brick ramp with set in concrete and put our system down, and then we were going to put pavers over it. So I contacted John Bourgoin over in Waltham. He owns a concrete block. And John ended up donating pavers from Patriot Place, leftover pavers from the Patriot Stadium, Patriot Place. And then, of course, Concord Lumber donated supporting materials as well. They support all of our shows. So what do you think of the Patriot Place? We'll play a little football?
Yeah, we can get Tom Brady. Do an autograph on one of the birds.
We'll have Tom Brady autograph the Ricks, or we can get the cheerleaders if Tom's not available.
The cheerleaders here, some pom-poms.
What we're doing right now is we're installing the Warmly Yours Radiant Heat cables. There's two sets of cables that are needed to cover this whole walkway. We're using this metal mesh. We cut it to the shape of the walkway, and we're using just one-way plastic ties to secure it to the metal mesh. The metal mesh is really only here to hold the wire kind of in some shape of form. And we're looking for about 3-inch spacing to get even continuous heating. Once this is done, we'll lay a layer of sand over this, probably about an inch of sand, and then the mason will install the bricks. One thing we ended up doing at the end of the walkway, there used to be a step up, and Rob used to have to go around it. So we're going to actually ramp up the walkway to the garage. And the whole theory here is that he can now exit his house and go into his car in the garage.
Should I have moved out? Would the lives be better or worse? Regrettably, I'll never know. That's my ultimate curse. As he puts on his skates, my spirit starts to drain. I was supposed to be skating with him. Will I ever stop feeling this pain? She wants to learn how to surf like I used to do. So I gave her my board. She said, Daddy, I wish you could teach me too. Life is filled with many regrets, decisions that won't let me forget, grievous wishes of mistaken consent, choices that haunt with endless torment. She comes down the slope in her pink snow pants and skis. My heart breaks as I try to cope. She should be skiing with me. As he throws a football to warm up for the game, I should be playing catch with him. Watching from a chair isn't the same. Life is filled with many regrets, decisions that won't let me forget, grievous wishes of mistaken consent, choices that haunt with endless torment. Why did I do that unforgiving jump? I wish I left my skis in the snow. The unbroken man that I used to be, my precious kids will never know.
The walkway's done, and we have a nice transition onto the driveway, nice and smooth for Rob's wheelchair. We also ramped it up to the garage, which we showed you earlier, so now he doesn't have a step up into the garage, which he used to have to go around. Now he can go right into the garage door, get into his car, and drive off, which is great. The Patriot pavers look really, really nice. It's a nice transition, and a real good-looking walkway. We're very pleased. It took a while to put this together, the show together. There was all different types of contractors. We were all busy, and it was a very busy time of the year. One thing I really need you folks to know is the snow melting project. It was a project planned before it became a show. We were going to do this project anyway, and Sue Molino, the producer of Concord Carpenter, said this would be a great opportunity to get the message out about compassion, volunteerism, and giving back. And so we decided to make this a show. We did. Everybody had a great time doing the project. Everybody enjoyed the show. So we're going to do it again next year. So if you have an idea, or if you have someone that might be in need, or a project idea, send Sue an email, and we'll take a look at it for the next show. That wraps up this show, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Welcome to a Concord Carpenter. On our show, we bring you all sorts of home improvement projects, as well as DIY projects that you can do yourself. I'm talking projects that, 4 to 8 hour projects, minimal amount of tools. It is important to have the right tools, and we're going to talk to you about the tools you might need. We're going to show you also new products and services that might make your life easier or your home more comfortable. Additionally, if you have a project that you'd like to see on the show, send us an email. As long as it's 4 hours or less, we'll take a look at it, and maybe it'll be on the show. Let's get started. New England winter mornings can tempt even the hardiest people to roll over, turn off the alarm clock, and go back to bed. There's nothing worse than stepping onto a cold hardwood floor or a tile floor and get those chills right up your spine. It just sets a mood for the day. Having an electric radiant floor heating system under your tile or hardwood floor, it just warms the whole floor. It's almost like having an electric blanket under your floor. I'm Rob Robillard, and you're at a Concord Carpenter, and today we're going to talk to you about a Warmly Yours product. It's an electric radiant floor heating system. It's called the Temp Zone Custom Fit Mat. It's basically an electric floor radiant heating system that you install when you're either remodeling or building new like this. Let's get started. When we talk about radiant heat, there's two types of radiant heat. There's hydronic and electric. Hydronic is a water system, a liquid system, that typically a lot of people will do their entire house in. Electric radiant heat is a great way to supplement your existing heat. There's a lot of reasons why you might want to consider electric radiant heat. First of all, if you're remodeling, you know, a bathroom has lots of stuff in it and very little wall space for radiators. A lot of times bathrooms are cold as a result of that. Plus they have porcelain fixtures and tile and all kinds of things that just hold the cold. Electric radiant heat doesn't take up the space like a radiator does. It's underneath the entire floor. So it's space saving. It's quiet, unlike hot forced air that's blowing air into the room. It's quiet. And it's efficient. And it's efficient in a couple of ways because electric radiant heat basically heats your floor at a low temperature consistently and heats the room through radiation. What I mean by that is as it heats up, it heats the objects in the room and creates this low temperature heat and warms the room. Whereas, say, a hot air system blows hot air into the room and creates all these cold spots, basically. It's a very inefficient way to heat a room. It creates cold spots, the heat rises. Radiant heat is constantly heating and radiating at an efficient way. The other thing too is it's energy saving in a sense that if combined with a thermostat, a programmable thermostat, you set your thermostat to go on and off when you use your bathrooms mostly. So for instance, if you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, maybe you turn your thermostat, you program it to turn on at 5:30. So when you get out of bed at 6 o'clock, your floor is warm and your room is heating. And maybe it turns off at 7:30 when the last person uses that room, and it's off for most of the day or very, very low for most of the day. You can heat a bathroom for pennies a day, 10, 15, 16 cents a day, and if you're using a programmable thermostat, it's even more efficient than that. So that's one way to think about it. The other way is it makes your bathroom way more comfortable. It's just more of an enjoyable place to use. People like, and most of the time are barefoot in their bathroom. It's nice to be able to walk barefoot on tile and not have that cold, frigid tile. Last thing I want to talk about electric radiant heat is it's a perfect system to use when remodeling. You're not going to do your whole house with hydronic heat. But if you're just doing one room, you can add electric radiant heat to that one room. And it's very easy to do. One thing you might want to think about is with old houses, a lot of times the floors are uneven. That's a perfect time to make sure that, structurally you make sure the floor is strong and secure, but that's a perfect time to level your floor. And a lot of things you can do is you can do a floor leveler or a liquid pour and get the floor to level, and then you can put this heat mat right in that, level the floor, and then you can install your tiles over that. For this project, we chose a Warmely Yours product. Warmely Yours makes all types of electric radiant heating, both indoors and outdoors, as well as snow melt products. And like I said earlier, it's basically an electric blanket that goes right under your tile or hardwood floor. It's a mesh product with a heating cable, serpentine looped all the way throughout it. And the beauty of the Warmely Yours Temp Zone Custom Fit Mat is it's exactly that. It's a custom fit mat. What I did is I came in here and I measured the floor space. I drew a drawing and I faxed it to Warmely Yours. Within 24 hours, they had a quote back to me and a diagram drawing back, a professional drawing that I took back here and remeasured. I did that 2 or 3 times, made sure I had exactly what I needed, and so I had full coverage on this floor. The custom fit mat is nice for a lot of reasons. As a remodeler, it gives me full coverage in a room, complete coverage with all these nooks and crannies. A lot of the companies that compete with Warmely Yours, they just make standard size mats, and you just kind of have to fit them, the rectangles or squares where they fit. This way you can go inside nooks and crannies and all around things, around the tub, around the shower. It's a 12 to 15 watt system, so it puts out 15 watts of heat, and we're running it off a 20 amp circuit, a GFI protected circuit. It's a faster and simple way to install. There's no cutting, and all you do is, like I said, unroll it on the subfloor and install it. The way that this particular mat installs is we will, once we test fit it, we'll do that in a minute, we'll roll this out, and then we'll just roll it back on top of each other, and we'll apply a coat of thin set cement and then we'll put the mat on top of the thin set. We're basically gluing this down onto the subfloor underlayment. And then we'll use a rubber mat, a rubber float, to push it down and secure it and glue it. Once it's dry, we can come back and we can apply thin set in our tile, or we could do a liquid pour of thin set, let that dry, and then install our tile over that. You can do whatever you want once it's adhered to the subfloor. Part of the process of choosing electric radiant floor heat for your bathroom when you remodel is picking a good company. And part of that is planning. When you're looking at companies, look for a company that offers customer service. I've installed about a dozen of these mats now, and I use Warmely Yours almost exclusively. And the reason why is they have a 24-hour customer service. And when I'm calling them on a Saturday afternoon, because I'm installing on a Saturday, they answer the phone. And they answer the phone with solutions to my problems. And that's important. You're not just getting an operator answering the phone. You're getting a technician who can give you viable solutions to the issues that I'm dealing with. That's one thing. Also, you want to look at a system that's going to provide enough heat. Look for a system that puts off as much heat as possible and in the realm. And Warmely Yours is putting off 15 watts. That's pretty much at the top of the game right now. So 15 watts of heat, 24-hour customer service. One of the things I said earlier is when I measured this out and I sent it in for a quote, within 24 hours I had a quote back with a drawing. So stuff like that. You're looking for the responsiveness and almost the team approach for a company. The planning process of this is once we measured it and we ordered it, it came delivered. And like I said, it's a custom fit mat. It fits the nooks and crannies of this bathroom. I purposely kept it off the walls for a couple of reasons. One, I was worried about error, my measuring or maybe the processing. Two, I wanted to be able to kind of center it, and I wasn't sure about the trim and what we were going to do on the edges. So I kept this system about, if you look, if I do it this way, you'll see it better. I kept the system about an inch off of that wall, an inch off of that wall, an inch off of here, and it's about 2 inches here and a few inches there. But it gets really good coverage, and I'm able to cover all the nooks and crannies. The system itself just glues, like I said, glues right down to the subfloor with these wires facing down in the thin set. And the mesh will be up. These wires here are what's called the cold lead wires. This is what powers the heating mat. This particular bathroom will have 3 mats. All 3 mats will run to the same box where the thermostat is, and the thermostat will control all 3 mats. The way this system works is the thermostat is measuring the air temperature, but also there's a floor sensor. Each mat has a floor sensor. There's a floor sensor that measures the heat temperatures for looking for overheating or for consistent heating, and the thermostat figures all of this out and gets the heat rising. The programmable part of the thermostat is what I feel is key to this system. It allows you to really create a comfortable situation without spending a lot of money. It's very economy-wise, as well as just an efficient delivery of heat. The one thing you definitely want to do before you install these is you want to test do some electrical tests on the mats, check the ohms and a few different things, and they provide you with the information you need to do that. And finally, the last thing is, this is probably one of the most efficient and effective solutions, and basically a realistic remodeling solution for you if you're doing a bathroom over, or any room, frankly. It's just a great way to add floor heat. You can add this system under tile, stone, vinyl, and even carpet, believe it or not.
On today's show, we showed you 2 different products, both by the same company. One's an interior floor heating, a radiant heating product by Warmely Yours, and the other one is a snow melting product. Both vastly different, but both vastly cool and interesting at the same time. I've done a lot of work with both products and a lot of work with Warmely Yours. If you're interested in the product, check out warmlyyours.com, and if you'd like to learn more about the application of both of these products, search the internet for the terms Concord Carpenter floor heat or Concord Carpenter snow melting, and you'll see a slew of articles that I've written on both products, and it'll give you a lot more background information on both. We'll see you in the next show. I'm Rob Robillard.